21 ways to take care of your brain. The brain consists of approximately 100 billion neurons, cells that receive and send signals to and from the brain and the nervous system. It's daunting to think that this 3-pound weight inside our head holds all those cells plus pockets of memory, emotions, thoughts, and ideas. And while we research ways to improve our physical health, our digestive tract, and our 5-mile run, what are we doing to take care of our brains? Taking care of your brain means taking care of your physical, your mental, and your emotional health. And here are 21 ways to do just exactly that. 1. Get outside. Over half of the world's population lives in urban centers, a number that is expected to rise to over 65% by the year 2050. And in an increasingly urbanized world, fewer and fewer of us are spending time outside in green spaces such as parks and forests. But even a quick trip to a city park or a suburban conservation center can have a positive effect on your well-being, attitude, and ultimately your brain. A study led by Japanese researchers at Chiba University sent 84 subjects on nature walks, while the same number of people took an urban stroll. The result? Those exposed to greenery and fresh air saw a 16% decrease in cortisol, the stress hormone. Other research shows that exposing yourself to nature lessens feelings of anxiety and also aids memory and deep thinking. Perhaps Lee Kuan Yew, the former Prime Minister of Singapore, had it right when he said, "A concrete jungle destroys the human spirit." Two, exercise and challenge your brain. Talking to yourself or using your non-dominant hand to complete a task may make you feel silly, but research shows that altering your daily routine can help keep your brain sharp. Putting your brain through new experiences that use the senses can open up the neural pathways. Studies show that switching up situations such as your morning routine, your morning walk, or how you complete a task can expand and exercise large areas of the cerebral cortex, which controls information processing and consciousness. Even trying out a new recipe can improve cognitive function, keeping your brain off autopilot. Puzzles such as Sudoku challenge the brain in different ways, drawing on your problem-solving abilities and ending with a sense of accomplishment. 3. Test your memory. You forgot who played that character in your favorite film? Or you can't remember just exactly where you kept your keys? With the advent of the internet, smartphones, and any other ubiquitous technological advancement of this century, relying on memory seems almost unnecessary. But challenging your brain to record events, people, words, and situations can do more than impress your friends. It can ultimately improve your intelligence as well. Memories are processed and stored throughout the brain. Short-term memory or information only temporarily needed activates the prefrontal lobe, while the hippocampus helps sort out longer-term memory. There is a multitude of ways to enhance your memory, from using mnemonic devices and exercising more to eating blueberries and making sure you get enough sleep. Another way to exercise your brain, quizzing yourself. By testing yourself on the names of people you've met or the capitals of foreign cities, you are forcing parts of your brain out of their proverbial comfort zone. 4. Learn a new language. It is estimated that between 60 and 75% of the world's population speaks at least 2 languages. which makes it difficult to believe that there was a time in this world when multilingualism was frowned upon. Over the past half-century, though, this outlook has changed. A scan of a multilingualist brain shows significantly more grey matter than that of a monolinguist, according to BBC report. Because the brain is constantly working, using one language while suppressing the other, the anterior cingulate cortex, ACC, which acts as a sort of control center, is exercised like a muscle. Bilingual and multilingual individuals are also reputed to be more empathetic and have better problem-solving skills than those who speak only one language. Apps such as Duolingo call upon your memory and retention skills to aid in learning the basics of a new language, but connection is the key. Watching a film in a foreign language or engaging in conversation with someone who speaks the language in question can not only jog the past of a memory associated with what you've learned, but also teach you language nuances and intonations not found in a book or an app. Five, read. Read everything and anything. Whether you are engrossed in a multi-book fantasy series or an inspiring self-help book, the act of reading does wonders for the brain. Daily reading has been shown to slow down cognitive decline and aid memory protecting our thinking skills, according to the Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research Foundation. In fact, those who engage regularly in mentally stimulating activities such as reading and writing are less inclined to be affected by dementia in old age. When it comes to what you read, fiction has an interesting advantage. Dr. Keith Oatley, a novelist and emeritus professor of cognitive psychology at the University of Toronto, told the New York Times in 2012 that reading fiction allows you to understand how the social world works and how to cultivate empathy. Six, meditate. The idea of meditation may seem daunting to some, but staying still and taking time to breathe and remain quiet for 10 to 15 minutes a day can drastically improve not only your mental outlook, but also the physical construction of your brain. Giuseppe Pagoni and Milosevic from the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at Emory University in Atlanta compared the brains of those who meditated regularly and those who didn't in a 2007 study. The meditators, who were practitioners of Zen meditation, had a higher volume of gray matter than those who did not meditate. Why is this important? Gray matter, a dark tissue in the brain and spinal cord, is known as the thinking part of the brain and is tied to levels of intelligence, memory, muscle control, and the senses. Gray matter reduces as we age, starting in adolescence. But Pagoni and Sekic found that meditation had a neuroprotective effect, slowing down the aging process of the brain. Seven, mindfulness. Mindfulness may read like a millennial buzzword, but in fact, it has some deep roots and a reputation for being extremely beneficial to the human mind. Referring to being present as being mindful and aware of your actions and surroundings. Mindfulness ensures that you're paying attention, living in the moment, and taking time to properly breathe. Breath is our fastest and most efficient route to stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is often called the rest and digest response, as opposed to its counterpart, the fight, flight, or freeze response, says Morgan Cowell, an instructor at Toronto's Breathe Yoga Studio in Canada. Breath is portable, easy to access, efficient, and effective at calming us down and encouraging us to be in the present moment, she adds. Those who practice mindfulness have been found to have increased cortical thickness, which has been tied to higher cognitive ability. You want to test your mindfulness? Well, go and download the Mindfulness app, which offers guided meditation for both beginners and experienced practitioners, or for those just looking to be more aware and present in their lives. 8. Treat depression. The effects of depression run deep, and while the stigma surrounding the disease is still present, it is important to recognize and treat signs of depression as soon as possible. Harvard Health publications attribute depression to a multitude of sources, from trauma and life-changing events to genetics and medication. What is understood is that depression arises from the brain's inability to assess and regulate emotions, and from how nerve cells are functioning and communicating. The amygdala, the thalamus, and the hippocampus are the areas of the brain most associated with depression, as they are connected to emotions, behavioral reactions, and thinking. The hippocampus in particular has come under scrutiny, as depression causes it to shrink because the guardian. Located in the center of the brain, the hippocampus is responsible for long-term memory and emotional responses to memory. The worldwide study looked at participants in the United States, Europe, and Australia, and found that the shrinkage was treatable at the hospital with the use of antidepressants, therapy, and diet, among others. 9. Avoid stress. A short-term stressful situation is not detrimental. You are past through it. It releases adrenaline and your brain switches into high alert. The hypothalamus, located in the base of the brain, then sends signals to the pituitary glands, traveling down the bloodstream to the adrenal cortex, releasing the stress hormone called cortisol. But long-term and ongoing stress, however, wreaks havoc on the brain and nervous system. A 2014 study published by scientists at the University of Berkeley found that chronic stress causes long-term problems in the brain, sometimes leading to mental illness and learning disability. The study examined the hippocampus, the brain center of emotion and memory, suggesting that ongoing exposure to stress causes the growth of new nerve cells. Stress is inevitable in this world, but it can be managed in a myriad of ways, from exercising, laughing, listening to music, or even spending quality time with friends. 10. Avoid trans fats. You know you should avoid trans fats, but do you know why? Sure, they sneak up in small percentages on the nutrition facts labeled on the favorite stuff for cookies. But did you know that they are known to increase the risk of obesity, as well as decreasing the amount of good cholesterol in your body? What is more, trans fats have recently been tied to poor memory. In a 2014 study spearheaded by Dr. Thrice, a professor of medicine at the University of California, San Diego, a group of 1,000 men were shown a series of word cards and tested on whether the word had already been shown to them before. On average, those who consumed the most trans fats remembered 11 fewer words than those who did not have trans fats in their diet. In fact, each gram of trans fat consumed meant a loss of 0.76 words. Alternatively, Golomb found that moderate consumption of anti-onion-rich dark chocolate makes more well in water, which she attributes to ultimately stress. Trans fats are believed to be pro-oxidative, meaning they negatively affect cells, so that a square or two of chocolate after dinner is a good factor. Avoid fried food, often instead for roasted, baked, or boiled. And think of prepackaged goods and fat diets rather for but the Mediterranean diet, rich in olive oil, nuts, legumes, and vegetables, remains in the top spot for both nutritionists and foodies worldwide. The Mediterranean diet is not the only food, nor is it emissions just in but it can give us instead of adhering to one diet in particular, but of you would encourage people to eat a rainbow-colored diet, so you don't have to fully abstain from red meat and but rather see them as meat to be enjoyed in moderation. Dr. Greenwood, along with Dr. Matthew and others of Concordia University, informed Center, as well as a number of nutritionists, published the Canadian Brain Food Guide earlier this year, which outlines how consistently and properly to eat. 12. Keep blood sugar levels stable. The brain is most easily controlled and since it uses half of sugar energy, making sure to balance glucose levels can keep adequate neural health. Glucose is a form of sugar required for the brain and body to function effectively. Memory, thinking, decision making, and learning are all tied to your glucose levels. When levels fall, neurotransmitters are not produced, and communication wavers between the brain's different areas. On the other end of the spectrum, high blood sugar shrinks the brain, causing it to age quicker. So how do you keep your glucose at a healthy level? Eat foods low on the glycemic index. A ranking of carbohydrate-rich foods based on how high they raise glucose levels. These foods, such as whole grains and non-starchy vegetables, affect the body slowly and are easier to digest than those placed higher on the index. 13. Socialize. As much as Netflix and a comfy couch appeal to the human body, leading an active social life is vital to the human mind. Human interaction boosts feelings of well-being and enhances your connection to the world in which you live. So, spending quality time with friends and family or in your community staves off feelings of anxiety and depression, while conversation stimulates the brain and thought processes. Socializing at all ages is also said to enhance brain power, improving performance on cognitive tests. Though the use of social media sites such as Instagram and Snapchat do not have the same positive effects. For seniors who live alone or for those who are isolated, socializing can be a great challenge. Older adults who remain socially active retain more memories during the aging process. "14. Wear a helmet." A no-brainer, sorry for some people, but wearing a helmet while cycling, rollerblading, or playing hockey or football is still not as common as it should be. When it comes to cycling, head injuries are the most serious and common kind of injury. In fact, cycling accidents account for the majority of head injuries every year among adults and children, with football in second place. In 2009, 90% of those killed while cycling in the United States were not wearing a helmet. It is estimated that the vast majority of cycling deaths and injuries could have been prevented by the helmet use, and that while over 50% of American children own a helmet, only a quarter report using one regularly, according to the American Association of Neurological Surgeons. 15. Sleep. Sleep may be one of the most obvious answers to a healthy body and brain, but that doesn't mean we're getting enough of it. When you are sleep deprived, you are unable to function at a higher level. Reaction times are slowed or delayed, concentration is compromised, and memory is foggy. Neurons, which are the brain's nerve cells, require sleep to properly communicate with one another. When this is interrupted by not enough sleep or interrupted sleep, the human brain reacts. Increased stress, anger, and anxiety are all reported reactions to sleep deprivation, as well as overreaction to emotional situations. There are many ways to ensure the body and mind get enough rest. One of them is avoid electrical devices such as smartphones, tablets, and television within an hour of bedtime. The other one is keep your bedroom cool. The third one, try to maintain regular bed and wake up times. The fourth one, avoid heavy meals and strenuous exercise within a few hours of sleep. 16. Cardio. In addition to elevating your heart rate and increasing blood circulation, cardiovascular activity has a profound effect on the brain. Aerobic exercise, which can include anything from walking and running to cycling and swimming, has been found to halt the hippocampus from shrinking, reported National Post. For those looking to stave off dementia and age-related memory issues, any regular activity that increases your heart rate can reduce the brain's age by 2 years, according to a 2014 study conducted by the University of Pittsburgh. Running in particular has received accolades for its brain-boosting effects. But before you groan, read on. According to Men's Health, a 30-minute stint on the treadmill or around your block 3 times a week can aid memory, increase attention span, and boost your decision-making abilities. 17. Lift weights. Muscle growth means brain growth. Why it may sound strange, there is some truth in that statement. A regular resistance training routine has been linked to cognitive ability, led by an alien report also found that seniors who began to well the weight training routine saw an increase in the brain tremors. It is estimated that 1.5 million people will have dementia. So it is a resistance training program early. So both studies found that seniors who began one great Dr. Yogi Malcolm of the University of Sydney, a researcher behind the study, told the independent he recommends weight training twice a week as a high sleep and 18. Supplement diet. If your diet contains restrictions on meat or allergies, and antioxidants. Drowning more than your fair share ultimately affects the brain. Think, reduce inhibitions, memory loss, and impaired decision making. Since alcohol is a depressant, chronic abuse can also worsen a pre-existing mental illness. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism reports that most heavy alcohol users will experience mild to moderate cognitive decline and diminished brain size, ultimately affecting their ability to think abstractly and their reaction time. Some studies show that how we drink can have an effect on the brain as well. Case in point, wine tasting. When you're supposed to stop, swirl, and smell the wine before taking a sip. The difference is that when you take a moment to engage the senses, you're also activating the brain. Drink water. The benefits of drinking water are seemingly unending. Staying hydrated has a profound effect on everything, from your skin to your joints and to your muscles, to your stamina, your physical performance, and energy levels. And while a major sign of dehydration is that pesky headache that won't go away, there's even more happening inside your head when you're lacking fluids. A 2012 study conducted by researchers at the University of Connecticut's Human Performance Lab found that even mild dehydration affects your ability to concentrate and can induce mild anxiety. The study looked at moderately active men and women in their early 20s, provided them with cognitive tasks after a stint on the treadmill without proper hydration. While both experienced issues concentrating, the women were more affected by the lack of fluids, displaying stronger mood swings. Since the human brain is made up of approximately 75% water, making sure to properly hydrate is vital to proper cognitive function. According to the Mayo Clinic, the recommended amount for men is 3 liters, that's about 13 cups, while women need slightly less at 2.2 liters, about 9 cups. Stop smoking, or don't even start. Nicotine is a powerful, fast-acting, and addictive substance that travels through the bloodstream to the brain within 15 seconds of inhalation. Known to affect neurotransmitter activity in the brain, nicotine in turn increases dopamine and serotonin levels, ultimately leading to increased feelings of pleasure. The brain is affected in a different way. Both a stimulant and a sedative, Psychology Today reports that nicotine causes a rapid release of glucose, which leads to what is regarded as a smoker's high, followed by severe depression, leading the smoker to crave more nicotine. As the brain becomes used to a regular supply of nicotine, quitting has an immediate adverse effect, causing irritability and anxiety. It can take the brain up to 6 weeks to relearn how to create chemicals required to release pleasure naturally. Conclusion. Your brain is the engine room of your life, as it controls all things happening in you. If you choose to maintain it and give it what it needs to keep you going, it will definitely be the wisest choice you can ever